and welcome to the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of August 21st. I'm Catherine Haleko, and I'm here with Terry Morrow.
Hello.
Previously on this podcast, we chatted about what parents were talking, complaining, and obsessing about each week, and we brought you short daily episodes. But these days, we're bringing you a weekly episode to talk about parenting in a more roundabout way. And this is not particularly parenting-ish, but a big milestone was reached in our home. We unplugged the landline.
Oh my goodness. Congratulations. Do you feel all free and untethered now?
It's strange. I mean,
what started in your childhood with a princess phone has now ended abruptly.
Yep. I did have my very own phone line when I was a kid.
I remember you telling us.
It was pretty fancy.
Now you have thrown away those childish things.
That's right.
You'll use only the highest of tech in your communications. Good for you.
My iPhone, that's like about 3 or 4 generations ago. It works fine. I don't need a new one.
My daughter was talking about getting a new iPhone the other day, and I said, that's great, but you have money, you could pay for it. I said, do you know how much an iPhone costs? She said, $200, which I know sounds like a lot of money to her. I started laughing. Yeah. Like, oh, baby.
No.
Don't we wish? The one she wanted is like $800 to $1,000, so.
Yeah.
Save that money, little girl.
That's right.
But so you're having to scramble to change your number. Does anybody still use your number? People still use our number. Mostly telemarketers and people I don't want to talk to, but still.
Yeah, mostly that. Mostly that for sure.
They'll find you anyway.
They will, I'm sure. And you know, we have a pest control service, and that just sprays outside, and they call us to tell us, you know, hey, close your windows on this day because we're coming. So now we won't know.
You'll just have to look around to see if the neighbor's windows are closed.
Right. And my parents, you know, do occasionally, and even my sister sometimes would call the landline. So I have informed them not to do that anymore.
Oh, wow.
And that's the only people I can think of. We used to get the, you know, your child is absent like every day on that landline, but we also got anymore. It. We don't need that anymore. And we also, it was a, you know, redundancy of a redundancy because we got it. We got an email, a text, and a phone call, a robocall. Like, please stop. I know he wasn't there. Okay.
You can't say you didn't know. They reached you every possible way they could. Pigeon bumped into your window with a note. It was
seriously
no denying it.
And it used to stress my husband out so much, and I tried to take him off, like, so he just wouldn't get those, because every time, did you get this text? I'm like, yes, I got the text and the email and the voice message.
Yeah.
Like, I know.
We have a similar situation with the recreation department in our town. Somehow has the phone number of every member of this family from one thing and another. So every time they have an announcement, we get 4 phone calls. Mm-hmm, it's like, I know.
Yes,
really, I know.
I heard.
Truly, we know.
I heard.
And then I think for the whole city, then takes those phone numbers. And so every time there's something going on in town, we hear about it 4 times. Thank you. Shut up.
Got it.
But yeah, we'll never go landlineless here because the person who would not be able to adjust is in the house and is my husband. And still not so much with the newfangled cell technology.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I also personally, I enjoy speaking on a actual phone and not a smartphone.
Yeah.
The flatness of the glass screen against the side of my face is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And you can't always do the speaker thing. So.
Right.
But anyway, I bow towards your superior pruning skills.
Well, it took us this long. Partly because the time we did it because we switched cable providers and we had a whole bundle, with phone and cable TV and internet with the old one. And so when we switched, we just got the TV and the internet. And but before, when we still had the other provider, we did try once to get rid of the landline, and they were like, it's not costing you anything. Like, we can't actually take it off of your account. Yeah. So just live with it.
Yeah.
So we did for a little bit longer until we said goodbye to that cable company. Yeah. See ya.
Yeah. For a long time, we had a deal that if you bundled the 3 services, you got a discount. But now I think one of the reasons my bill has gone up is because they have started doing cell phones from the same provider as my cable and internet.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that gets you the discount now. And you know what? My cell phone is the thing I use to run my computers when the cable goes out.
Exactly.
I cannot have those things both in the same hands. Not that I don't trust you, Optimum, but I don't trust you.
But I don't. No way. So what's going on with you?
Well, we've been talking for a while here. I'll just share a thing I will think of as a tiny triumph, though the person who's doing it does not accept it as such. My daughter, the other day, we were having an argument about how much bread she eats. And she had made herself some toast with dinner. And my husband was like, you don't need that toast. There's enough on your plate. Why do you want toast? And she's like, well, I like toast. Toast is an okay thing to have. Why can't I have toast? So this was a discussion during dinner. And then after my husband had left the table, my daughter calls into the living room. Dad, did you have toast when you were a kid? Didn't you have toast sometimes when you were a kid? And I'm like, stop that. Stop being passive-aggressive. Stop, needling him. What are you doing? And she goes, that was not my intention. And first, yay, look at you picking up words and phrases. I know you got that from reality television, and we need to talk about how much Big Brother you're watching, but still, that's a nice turn of phrase. That was not what I intended. She's since used it a whole bunch of times, and it's getting annoying. But still, the language-delayed young person continues to gain language well into her 30s. But also, she's like, I was just asking. I was just curious. I had nothing to do with the discussion about me eating toast. No. I just wanted to know about my father's childhood. It's like, no, there is no other explanation for why you said that then. Can you think of any other possible explanation why that exact foodstuff would be the subject of her curiosity, except to say, well, you like toast. I like toast. What's the problem with me liking toast? Why can't I have toast? You had toast. So, I don't know. I mean, a little sarcasm and passive aggression is kind of impressive. It's a new form of expression for her. It's a new
skill.
But she's not embracing it. She's, trying to also act innocent, and I don't know. So, learning never stops.
That's right.
It just keeps going.
Right.
Even when you wish it would stop, it just keeps going. And you know where there's a lot of learning going on right now?
Where?
Only Murders in the Building. They're learning all sorts of things about each other and about the case and about how to make a musical. Possibly how not to. But
how to have a conversation inside a piece of furniture when someone is 3 feet away and they can't hear you? Like, what? I am not a crackpot, but that's ridiculous.
That is indeed. That is a roomy armoire that is completely empty and has no shelves of any sort. Right. It's just right for hiding in. Just
right for Mabel and Taubert to be hiding in and flirting with each other.
Yes.
While
not all that quietly.
Not quietly at all.
Did they close off what was the thing from last season? Wasn't there a series of tunnels underneath all the apartments? They could have just dove in there.
Yes.
Maybe they they don't extend
to the penthouse. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe not. That is an interesting space. Has that set been exactly the same for all 3 times we've seen it, except redecorated wildly?
Yeah, I guess.
Sting, Amy Schumer, and now a fake celebrity.
Ben. Yeah, it was fun that Mabel acknowledged this. Like, I've been in here 3 times.
time.
Once per
different.
season.
Set designer gets that job once a year.
Yeah, well, in this case, all they did was put up as many pictures of Paul Rudd as they could. There was even one in the back of the armoire, so that when they left the armoire, his face was staring at their backs, which I thought was funny.
That was nice. Always with the nice touches on the show.
Yes, for sure. So yeah, now Oliver's play, he's trying to make it a musical in the space of a few days, and this is challenging.
Right. But if anybody can do it, it would be him.
It would be him, and he does write a very pretty song long after Howard and Howard's boyfriend have passed out on the couch.
And Meryl Streep delivers it so effectively that he gets funding for the stupid musical. Not from the mom who is funding it, but from the son.
Right.
Who just fell in love with it.
That's right.
Many, 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 many jokes about their dysfunctional relationship, but...
Right.
Okay. Good for a laugh.
And there's a slight scare that Meryl Streep gets a part in a TV show that's filming in LA, and
she gets a limp.
Yes, she's very excited because her character has a limp. But then, Oliver is very mad because he needs her for his musical, and also because he kind of likes her. And of course, she decides not to go do the TV thing, which, no, that's not what would happen. No. But okay.
Being that this is a character played by Meryl Streep, her involvement in the case is going to have to be...
Yeah, more than just the first 2 episodes and then bye, I'm going to LA.
I mean, she's not going to wind up being exactly as she seems, or maybe at all like she seems.
Right.
Reminding me of the character from season 1.
Right.
Who was romancing Charles and turned out to be the murderer.
Yes.
So theoretically, they wouldn't do that again, but...
Well, and they even had Charles say in this episode, another female killer or something, right? Because the first 2 seasons, one will note, were... Spoiler alert.
It does feel like they're kind of heading for, probably it wasn't Kimber in the tape. Maybe it was Loretta.
Yes, they have video footage of someone in Ben's dressing room prior to his poisoning or whatever happened to him at the theater. The first murder attempt, I guess one could say. So
we shall see where that goes.
What else? Mabel's apartment is beautiful now that it's supposedly sold.
Uh-huh.
She redecorated it.
Maybe they could hire her to redecorate the penthouse in between egotistical occupants.
Right. Take down all the pictures of Ben.
She'll paint a good mural.
Take them with her to her next
She could make one of those murals for every new person who comes in.
That's right.
It'd be perfect.
Uh-huh. She's an artist.
Yes, indeed. Uh-huh. So what else happened in this one? Or is that pretty much the same?
Yeah, I mean, it was like the cast rebelling against the idea of
the musical.
Right.
And Charles trying really ineptly, almost too ineptly, to find out who still had their hanky.
Right.
And finds eventually that Kimber does not, which of course means it's not her.
Yes.
So, it's only episode 3. It's not her.
Yeah. Yeah.
But somebody probably took hers.
Uh-huh.
They have their own.
That's right. So should we move to the next mystery we're trying to solve?
Another mystery that also has video footage of something that is being retrieved.
Yes. So the after party.
It's rather odd watching 2 mysteries together like this. Okay.
The after party sees episode 7 Ulysses.
You know, I've been looking forward to his episode, and I could think of all sorts of genres it could be. Dance movie was not one of them.
Melodramatic dance movie.
That came out of the blue, but it was delightful. And they sold it pretty well. So,
yes, it was the story of how Ulysses, was a skilled tap dancer. And he was in the USO, and he experienced a traumatic event in the course of that service. And in order to help him, get back to something, to sort of recover from that, I guess, Feng has the idea that he and Vivian can compete in ballroom dance. They knew that we haven't seen Dancing with the Stars for a while.
Yeah, we needed some. And what kind of stupid idea is that, Feng? Come on.
Yes. Have you seen John Cho? What are you doing?
But has there ever been a plot line in which two people start to ballroom dance together when they don't fall for one another? Come on.
Right.
Watch some TV. See a movie. So, as seems inevitable, they do have a romance.
That's right. And as seems inevitable, Fang finds out about it and is very mad at his brother. He doesn't seem to be too mad at his wife.
Yeah, how about that?
Pretty much just his brother.
Yeah, his half-brother.
Yeah.
Who he treated like a brother.
Right, like a full brother.
So that spurs Ulysses to then do his world travels, trying to get away to a place where there's no women, apparently.
Right, no women and no dancing. So he gets to Patagonia is the response there.
Right, and that's where he is when Edgar helicopters in.
Right.
To invite him to the wedding.
Right. And to suggest that possibly he might be Grace's father, which has never occurred to him all this time.
Well, Edgar's just kind of a genius, he thinks of these things.
Yeah.
Who else could possibly do so?
And that's his explanation for whatever mysterious and shady thing he was doing with a glass at the bar at the after party. He was swabbing Grace's glass for DNA. Right. Of course, as you do.
Yes. Because Vivian said no, she did a paternity test, but who believes her?
Right.
So this all involves Zoe's family so very much more into the possible mystery and not exactly what Anik was looking for.
Right. He was hoping to get them out of it.
I feel like last week's episode existed solely so that Anik would have to explain to Zoe why he needed to talk to her family, because I can't bleep the arsonist.
The arsonist, yeah.
It does look like they are up to all sorts of incriminating things. Feng was giving some dessert just to Edgar. Nobody else could touch it.
Right. Although I think that could be explained as just him being like, he's trying to impress Edgar.
It absolutely could, yes.
And nobody else is allowed to touch it.
Very much so. But since they don't want to be interviewed, it looks incriminating.
Mm-hmm. Imagine that. And guess what the title of the next episode is?
Yes.
Bang. There we go.
Either he changes his mind or they must confront him with some of this video evidence they're getting.
Yeah.
But this was interesting. This took things in a direction I did not expect.
Mm-hmm.
And it was entertaining.
Yeah.
They had fun with the genre.
Yes.
I enjoyed when they were doing their ballroom dancing and it said they went to exotic locales and the little postcard, like overseas looking postcards came over Topeka.
Boise.
Some place in North Dakota. That was funny. And so.
They did, I believe the last one was like Tampa or something. Because they did get some ocean front,
Yeah.
competition.
Very funnily and well done, as is always the way with this show. But I enjoyed this one a lot more than last week's.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Even though it was also about people sleeping together that should not be. So.
Well, we could probably get a little bit of that in almost every episode.
That is true.
When you look back at them.
That's right. At least 3 I can think of. But interesting to see how this develops next week.
Yeah. So next week, the title is Fang. So we'll see if we actually hear from him or if they do something else in order to.
And the next episode we'll be watching next week of Only Murders in the Building is episode 4, The White Room.
Could that be?
That'll be interesting. Could be a song. Could
right.
be a place.
I mean, Mabel's apartment is kind of all white at this point.
Yeah, this is true.
So maybe that has something to do with it.
Maybe
we'll find out.
Yes. So what is your Catherine's Library Find of the Week this week?
Okay, so as I think I've mentioned, when I'm scanning in books that are being returned, I have to flip through them quickly and just look for like stains or tears or, So I flip through the books as when I'm checking them in and just check them quickly. And sometimes I, get a glance at the flap copy. Mm-hmm. And this week's find is all about the flap copy. Okay. Let me just read it to you. Darby, the book is called, let's go back. The book is called Cutting Teeth.
Uh-huh. But this isn't a children's book about
No.
Okay.
No. It's a novel for adults, and the author's name is Chandler Baker. Okay. And the flap copy is: Darby, Mary Beth, and Rhea are on personal quests to reclaim aspects of their identities subsumed by motherhood, their careers, their sex lives, their bodies. But their children disrupt their plans when an unsettling medical condition begins to go around the Little Academy preschool. The kids are craving blood. Then a young teacher is found dead, and the only potential witnesses are 10 adorable 4-year-olds. Soon it becomes clear that the children are not just witnesses, but also suspects. As the
Next
police
season on Only Murders in the Building.
That's right. There's more. As the police begin to look more closely, the children's ability to bleed their parents dry becomes deadly serious. Oh my gosh. I want to read this now. It's done its job on
Someone needs
flap
a vacation and a lot of coffee and maybe a massage. Find a babysitter.
And also, then it goes on, part murder mystery, part motherhood manifesto. Cutting Teeth explores the standards society holds mothers to. Blah, blah, blah.
Can we get back to
just
the
stop
murderous
there.
4-year-olds?
Exactly. I don't need it to be some big metaphor about motherhood, blah, blah.
Oh, my.
I just was like, this is amazing. I am very proud of whatever editorial assistant or marketing person wrote that flap copy because it worked on me. That is for sure.
It's a special skill.
Mm-hmm. I might have to use some of my Audible credits on this. I keep thinking I need to cancel Audible because I don't use up the credits fast enough, and this just might be some.
Right. See who's reading it. If it's any
that's true.
If it's the author reading it, or if it's somebody.
Where is it?
Somebody who is going to have to do like the voices of a whole bunch of toddlers.
Oh, the author is listed. On the audiobook it says that the author, it says Chandler Baker, author and narrator, but then it also has another narrator called January Lavoie.
Okay.
Publishers Weekly audio.
Read their parts.
I don't know. I hope not.
Yikes. That is interesting and alarming and exhausting sounding, but up until the point where it was part manifesto.
Yeah.
As in.
Right. Well, I might have to listen to it and let you know if it's
lead their parents
worth your time.
dry. Oh, just take a week. Find a babysitter and take a weekend, you know?
Well, they're already at preschool.
Yeah, that's true.
This is what happens when you send your kids to preschool.
They get a
Don't
taste
you
for
feel
blood.
guilty now? Oh, boy.
Oh, and happy back to school to everybody.
That's right. Well, that segues us into our archives.
Yeah.
We are going to talk about what we were talking about 1 year ago, 4 years ago, and Terry, 9 years ago this week. We were talking about school
that's just
supplies.
What have we been doing with our lives, Catherine?
So I thought these went together pretty well. These episodes.
Yes.
Because we talked about spending priorities.
This was if
a year
somebody
ago.
gave you $10,000, right? What would you do?
That's right. Yeah, what would you do with $10,000?
Find your kids a better preschool, possibly.
Where they won't be exposed to other kids who are apparently vampires.
Right. Possibly buy a nice island. And, yeah.
Well, I don't think 10 grand is going to get you an island.
No, probably not.
That's a problem.
Yes.
So,
Darn. $10,000.
Yeah,
That's really not that much.
I know. That's what
Can't
we
buy a
talked about
car.
last time. Like, we're like, I guess a vacation, but, you know, depending on who's going, it's going to add up quickly.
Yeah, I don't think so. You could buy the iPhone my daughter wants, but
That's true.
you know, don't get too many extras. Don't get the Apple Care. Don't get the
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know what I would spend that on now. I can't. I have no desire to travel. I have no desire to redo my house. I just want a maid service. How much does maid service cost?
Right.
Could somebody come for $10,000 and just completely clean my house?
I think you could get that done.
Yes. It's probably too much, but I would be embarrassed
Well,
to have them
then
see
you
how
could
messy it was. So the rest is just like, you know, for counseling afterwards.
Hush money.
That's right.
But you could have them come once a year for 10 years,
That's true.
you know?
Yeah, it's just disgraceful. The current condition of my house. Maybe I need one of those. Don't they have these things where you can like install something that just vacuums the entire house, just automatically vacuums the air?
Oh, like an air purifier.
Yeah, I have air purifiers. They're just sitting in dusty. They got choked right away. We have a significant dust problem here. Mm-hmm. So maybe, I don't know what we would need, but we need something. So maybe that's how I would apply it. Just liberal, please come here and make my house dust-free and tidy and clean and see if there's still a mouse in the kitchen. If there is, get rid of it.
Right.
If its corpse is rotting behind the stove, maybe get rid of that too.
Yeah.
Just give us a clean slate.
I think that would be well worth it.
I think that would be well worth it if somebody was giving me the $10,000.
Right.
That'd be nice. What would you do? Pay for your children's college?
Well, yeah. I mean, we have saved, but like, I'm still paying for my daughter's skating.
Oh, that's right.
So I could use it for that for sure. And like upcoming this year's competitions, 2 of them, if I want to go to them, I'm going to have to fly. So, because I'm not driving to Wichita again. I did do that once before, but I was on a bus. And this time I would not have access to a bus. So I'm not going to attempt that by myself in a car in January. So I need airfare. And then the other one is in Las Vegas. So give me that 10 grand and I'll double it.
That's right. There you go. Gambling money. This is what we needed it for.
Yeah. So I think that's probably what I said last time too, was something to do with travel.
Nah, I have no desire to travel at all.
I know.
Something came up recently that I may theoretically have to fly somewhere for, and it's like, I really don't want to. Can I just not do it? Can I just Never mind. I'm not really interested in that anymore. Just But speaking of still paying for your daughter's skating,
Yes.
4 years ago we talked about the costs of raising kids, and one of the things you mentioned was how expensive sports get
Right.
quickly, and they keep being expensive apparently.
They keep being
on
expensive.
into college.
Right. And I mean, unless of course your kid gets on a varsity, school funded team.
Yeah.
Which my daughter is not. But of course, to get to that point, you're going to have to be spending a whole lot of money too. So.
Yeesh. How lovely that my kids aren't talented in anything in particular, except just being adorable humans.
Yeah.
Paid for music lessons for a little while, but didn't stick.
Yeah. Well, what I remember thinking when we had that conversation was like, just when you think you're finished, then it just transitions to something else.
That's right.
Oh, I'm done paying with daycare. Okay, well now your kids are going to need all kinds of money for public school that you didn't think you would be spending, and camps and extracurriculars and all that stuff.
Right.
So we'll see what my son's college activities lead me to have to pay for it. But I mean,
does theater have costs the way sports does?
I mean, in high school we did sometimes have to buy costume pieces, although then you get to keep it if you need a pair of corduroy pants that were supposed to look like they were on a derelict. I mean, and there was sort of like an activities fee that you paid to the school just for the first 2 activities that your kid did. It was like $50 or something. But if your child was in more than 2, then you didn't have to pay extra. But we'll see, once he gets to school, what sort of other stuff are we paying for? Tickets to the shows. Yeah. Of course.
And driving there to see them.
Yes, right. Spending the night if we do. Things like that. But we were talking about school supplies on 9 years ago and how sometimes you had to, drive all over town and looking for things. Now you can pretty much just order them online. But
that's lovely.
My son's college did give a list of, what to bring. And included on this list was an iron. Oh. Really? When did you write this and when did you last look at it? Because I don't think...
do you iron things still?
I mean, once in a
certainly a college dude is not going to iron things, but I have not ironed things. I don't know if I even still have an iron. If I do, it's way in the back of a closet.
We do have one, and occasionally it's usually either my husband or my son that wants something ironed. Yeah. So... and it also had listed a sewing kit on this on this thing. So, but I said, you're going to probably have access to a costume shop. Right. So if you need something ironed or sewn, pretty sure you'll have friends that can just do that for you in the costume shop. So I'm sure he'll take a costume related class at some point.
You would think.
A lot of the schools we looked at, made a point of saying that theater majors would definitely be taking a costume class. Huh. So
interesting.
Yes.
Did you have to buy him folders and notebooks and that sort of thing? I still did that with my kids when they were in community college. We would go to the student store and buy stuff.
Yeah, I think we will. We have one last shopping trip to do before he goes. And, we're going to get toiletries and, command hooks. And I think we'll get a few folders and things too. So, yeah. So,
whole different kind of school shopping when they're
that's right.
going to college, but the scavenger hunt still does not end.
No.
I was seeing something on Facebook. Somebody's son was going off to college, and they showed the car all packed up. And somebody else said, "That's all he's taking. My daughter had like 3 cars worth of stuff." And then there was some discussion in the comments of boys versus girls going to college, and how much more one has than the other.
Right.
Is your son being economical in his wishes to take things?
Well, good question, because we haven't gone through the clothing yet. So I told him that, that's one of the big things we still need to do is review the clothes and, what are you taking? What are you not taking? And what can we get rid of while we're doing that? So along with the shopping, that's on the to-do list.
Yeah, well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
And another transition to a different kind of school supply
That's
scavenger
right.
hunting. Another kind of spending on kids. Time marches on.
That's right.
But the time for this podcast has about come to an end, I think. So that's it for the Parenting Roundabout Weekly Roundup. You can find all our episodes on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. You can also talk to us on our Facebook page, on Instagram, or on Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat. And please visit our Amazon shop at amazon.com/shop/momitude, where you can find links to a lot of the things we've talked about over the years. We'll see you back here next Tuesday. Goodbye, Catherine.
Bye, Terry.
Goodbye, everybody.